Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imagine a voice echoing for nearly a millennium. Not a generation, not a century, but 950 years. This is the unheard testament of Prophet Nuh, a man tasked with an impossible mission. His life, a relentless sermon, preached to a people who met everyone in with scorn. What hidden wisdom lies within this epic tale of patience, defiance, and a purification by water unlike anything before or since. Before Nuh, humanity had strayed far from the path of monotheism. The earth was riddled with idols, carved deities worshipped instead of Allah SWT, the one creator. Corruption seeped into every corner of society, justice was forgotten, and arrogance reigned supreme. People lived heedless, immersed in their fleeting desires, oblivious to the impending reckoning, building their lives on foundations of disbelief and moral decay. In His boundless mercy, Allah SWT chose Nuh, to be a warner to His people. A man of unwavering faith, profound wisdom, and extraordinary resilience. The burden placed upon him was immense, to guide a nation lost in darkness back to the light of pure submission. He was entrusted with the truth, and the responsibility to deliver it, no matter the cost, no matter how long it took. Nuh, began his tireless mission, calling his people to abandon their idols and worship Allah SWT alone. His message was simple, yet profound. O my people, worship Allah, you have no deity other than Him. Surah Al-Araf 7:59. He appealed to their reason, reminded them of their Creator, and warned them of the consequences of their defiance. Yet, their hearts were hardened, their ears deafened by arrogance. The elders, the powerful, and the wealthy among them, dismissed him immediately. They saw him as no more than a man, an ordinary mortal, daring to challenge their established ways. They accused him of madness, of seeking power, of being a liar. Years bled into decades, and decades into centuries, yet Nuh, persisted, his voice a solitary echo in a world determined to remain blind and deaf to the truth. For 950 years, Nuh, endured. Imagine the weight of that persistence, the sheer mental and spiritual fortitude. He called them by day and by night, openly and secretly. He never tired, never gave up hope, even as his own people mocked him relentlessly, covering their ears and wrapping themselves in their garments to avoid his words. Each passing generation inherited the same defiance. Their tones grew crueler. They called him possessed, a sorcerer, a madman. They dared him to bring forth the punishment he warned of, challenging Allah SWT's power directly. Nuh, heartbroken but resolute, turned to his Lord. He had fulfilled his duty, delivering the message with utmost sincerity. He prayed for strength, for patience, and for the ultimate judgment to be rendered. Finally, the command came from Allah SWT, construct the ark under our observation and our inspiration. Surah Hud 11:37. This was not an ordinary ship, nor was it to be built by ordinary means. It was a vessel of salvation, a testament to faith, and a prelude to divine justice. The instruction was precise, detailed, and utterly beyond human ingenuity without divine guidance. Imagine the scene, a vast, arid plain, far from any water body, and Nuh, begins to construct a colossal ship. The irony was not lost on his people, it only fueled their mockery. Are you a prophet or a carpenter? They jeered. Building a ship in the desert. Has your madness finally consumed you? Yet, Nuh, and the few who believed with him, worked tirelessly, driven by conviction. Each plank laid, each nail driven, was met with renewed ridicule. The disbelievers would pass by, pointing and laughing, convinced Nuh, had lost his sanity. They could not fathom a purpose for such a vessel in such a desolate place. Their minds, clouded by arrogance, refused to connect the warnings of the past 9 centuries with the monumental task unfolding before their very eyes. Only a handful, a precious few, believed Nuh, As. They were the ones whose hearts Allah SWT had opened to the truth, who recognized the wisdom in His words despite the prevailing scorn. These steadfast souls walked alongside Nuh, As, their hands calloused, their spirits unbroken, knowing that their labor was an act of worship and a preparation for a salvation few could imagine. As the act neared completion, an ominous quiet settled over the land. The mockery, though still present, carried an undertone of unease. The sky began to change, the air grew heavy, and strange signs appeared. The moment of truth, so long foretold, was now tangible. The enormous vessel stood ready, a silent monument to unwavering faith and a stark warning to those who had rejected it. Then came the first unmistakable sign. The earth's ovens, usually used for baking, began to gush forth water. Not steam, but torrents, erupting from the ground. This was the signal. Nuh, As, knew the time had come. The world, which had scoffed at a ship on dry land, was about to be engulfed by waters from both above and below, a deluge of unprecedented scale. Nuh, As, gathered his family and the believers. Then, a truly miraculous sight unfolded. Pairs of every living creature, from the mightiest beast to the smallest insects, began to converge towards the ark, moving with an instinctive, divinely guided purpose. Two of every kind, fulfilling the command of Allah SWT, silently making their way to the monumental vessel. The burden was a solemn procession. The chosen few entered, their hearts a mix of awe and trepidation, as the skies darkened further and the first heavy drops of rain began to fall. This was the final moment of choice for humanity. Those who refused to enter, those who still clung to their disbelief, sealed their own fate, choosing arrogance over salvation, even as the storm descended. Then, the heavens opened. Not rain, but cataracts of water, as if the sky itself was tearing apart. And from beneath the earth, springs burst forth, rivers of water erupting from the very ground. So we opened the gates of the heaven with water pouring forth. And we caused the earth to burst with springs, so the waters met for a matter already predetermined. Surah Al-Qamar 54:11-12. The flood waters rose with terrifying speed, engulfing homes, mountains, and all vestiges of human civilization. The ark, now buoyant, lifted from the earth, becoming a lone beacon of hope amidst a raging, chaotic sea. It was tossed by the waves, yet remained intact, a vessel of divine protection. All that had defied Allah SWT was swept away, cleansed by the torrents. Even in that terrifying moment, Nuh, As, saw his son, struggling in the surging waters, refusing to believe, unwilling to join his father. Nuh, As, cried out, pleading with him to board the Arkansas. But the son, clinging to a mountain, replied with defiance, convinced he would be safe. The waters rose higher, a devastating separation of faith and disbelief. Then, silence. The cries of the disbelievers, the roar of the flood, the sounds of a world ending, all ceased. Only the ark remained, riding the vast, purified waters. The deluge was not merely a punishment, but a divine cleansing, a reset for humanity. A new beginning, earned through the unwavering faith of Nuh, As, and the few who followed him. After 40 days and nights, the command came, O earth, swallow your water, and O sky, withhold your rain. Surah Hud 11:44. The waters began to recede, slowly revealing the contours of a world reborn. The ark, guided by divine will, drifted towards its resting place. The storm had passed, leaving behind a pristine, untouched landscape. The ark finally came to rest upon Mount Judy. Imagine the first rays of sun touching the hull, the silence broken only by the gentle lapping of receding water. A new dawn broke over a cleansed earth, a testament to Allah SWT's power and justice. From this sacred ground, Nuh, As, and the survivors would step out onto a world made pure once more. Stepping out from the ark, Nuh, and the believers gazed upon a world utterly transformed. The earth was fresh, green, and vibrant, cleansed of all corruption and idolatry. It was a new beginning for humanity, a second chance, born from patience and absolute faith. Every living thing, every species, owed its continued existence to this miraculous journey. The story of Nuh, is a powerful covenant between Allah SWT and humanity. It is a reminder of divine justice, but also of boundless mercy for those who believe and strive. It teaches us about the consequences of arrogance and disbelief, and the ultimate triumph of truth. A profound promise of protection for those who hold fast to the rope of faith. The legacy of Nuh, transcends time. It is a lesson in unyielding patience, in delivering the truth even when met with the harshest opposition. It reminds us that Allah SWT's help is always near for those who persevere in His path, and that no matter how long the struggle, ultimate victory belongs to the righteous. His 950 years of dawah remain an unparalleled testament. The story of Prophet Nuh serves as a timeless beacon, illuminating the path of unwavering faith and dedication. It calls us to reflect on our own commitment to truth and patience in the face of adversity. His narrative is a powerful reminder that while the world may scoff, divine justice and mercy ultimately prevail for those who sincerely strive in the way of Allah SWT. If this cinematic journey through Quranic history moved you, please consider showing your support. Liking this video helps our channel reach more brothers and sisters seeking sacred knowledge and inspiration. Subscribe to Sacred Ayat for more visually stunning and reverent stories of the prophets and Quranic miracles. Share this narrative as a sadaqah yariyah, an ongoing charity, with someone who would benefit from its profound message. And in the comments below, let us know which sacred story you wish to explore next. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.